Hello, everybody, and welcome here as we're getting set for race of the season for the ARCA Menards Series main event, the main series, as we're getting set for our second race here at the Michigan International Speedway. But before we get set for the Henry Health System 200 here for this afternoon, we got to figure out who will be the 7 drivers that will race their way in. And our first one is the 71. And just need to remember the name. It is Bryn Inglewood making her debut for David Gilliland Racing. 15 minutes on the clock, so these drivers need to get on track immediately and start putting their lap time down. That way they are the fastest 7 drivers for this afternoon's race. This is what we call the go or go home race, or go or go home qualifying, as I like to do it. As Margaret Jacobs is on track. Easy Creighton's also on track. I gotta see if I need to put this back. As these 2 drivers are about to complete their first official time lap. 44.12 as I'm going to bring up the ticker here. 44.12 for the 71. "15-minute session," like I said. Not a lot of time for these drivers, but they better get on track and start putting some good laps down if they want to make tomorrow's, or this afternoon's race, I should say. Maisie Creighton failed to qualify. Bryn Inglewood is trying to make her first start of her debut. Kiki Honeyman in the 66 had a poor finish last time out of Coca-Cola, 39th to be exact. The 87 Rickshaw Miller coming out onto the track. Curtis Glover, the big surprise that failed to qualify. Jocelyn Hawkins in the 32. I'm checking to make sure. I think she missed the show. Yes, she did. Jocelyn Hawkins did not make the show. Liliana Beta did not make the show last week. There's Timo Mauser and Alexandre Sarnes. Those two had Sarnes ended up flipping at Coca-Cola last time out. Mauser had a tough race. Finished 37th. There's Nathan Orman, Kevin Lambert in the 07. There's Boris Camp. Donna Ramirez is in the 41 this week. We also have another driver trying to make the race, the 56 of Brad Wallace. Trying to make his debut. He is from the Michigan area, so this is his home race. Josh McDowell, Laura Bridges, Luca Rosso. There's Tina Jones, Hadley Martindale, this week's driver in the 46. Of course, the 46 car was already locked in the top 35, but because because we have different drivers in the field, they would have to make the show on time. Josh Quick. That's why Ariel Moore, who finished 36, is going to be in the top 35, regardless what happens after this race. That's Lane Riggs in the 99. Bradley Ream failed to qualify here. Top 7, as I said, will make the main event. Everybody else will be going home or will be going to run the East Series race later this weekend at Loudon. which the backup haulers are already there. Blake Peppers, Josh Rogers. There's Maxie Chilton, needs to make the field. Failed to qualify for Coca-Cola. Trinity Lee was running in the top 10 before her engine gave up the ghost. There's Luna Farmer trying to make the show. Logan Burton, Dylan Van Dyke trying to make their debuts in the main series. Dylan Van Dyke ran in the East Series race at Bristol. Fastest so far is at 25 of Josh Rogers. Addison Peterson won our last race in the main series. That was back at Coca-Cola, which was last week. We also are going to have the, quote, combination race coming up for the ARCA series, but that will not be a points-paying event. Because next week will be the East and the main series at Darlington. So there's going to be 2 races you're going to see. Or correction, you're going to see 3 races. I think it's either 2 or 3. I know there's going to be 2 because we're going to have this series and the East Series. Of course, the East Series drivers are going to have a big advantage at Darlington. That's where we're going to be racing next week. The following week, we're going to have the West Series from Phoenix. That'll be a fun race there. Dylan Van Dyke, 25th quickest in the session. Maxie Chilton has the final transfer spot. There he is in that 50 machine. He finished pretty poorly at Bristol in the East Series last time out. Maxie Chilton, I know, is already locked in the show for the East Series race at Loudon, so he's going to run Loudon tomorrow. Should he make this race here today? Right now, the 25, the 7, 97, 5, 27.08, and as soon as I say that, the 46 moved up. That's Hadley Martindale. That puts the 27 of Kevin Lambert on the bubble. Maxie Chilton is on the outside looking in, so Chilton needs to pick it up. There's Luna Farmer. Not going to make... And if she doesn't make the race, she'll run the East Series race at Loudon, so she can get some seat time over there. Maxie, by the way, goes into the race at, as you're looking at Margaret Jacobs, Maxie Chilton goes into the Loudon race 19th in the points for the East Series, as you see Jocelyn Hawkins pitting. This is a 2-mile track, the sister track to Michigan. At least the good news is for these drivers is that for those that don't make the race here at Michigan, at least they got a race coming up at Loudon. Those of them that are running the East race, I know Maxie Chilton is one of them. Of course, Tatiana Guerra, who's not here at Michigan, she's at Loudon. And you'll see Tatiana Guerra tomorrow. as she and the other 33 drivers, yes, we went from 24 to 33 cars for the race weekend coming up at Loudon, the Magic Mile, which we'll be racing as. We're under 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Josh Rogers currently the fastest. Josh Rogers failed to qualify for this weekend or last time's race at Coca-Cola. Trying to think what race we were racing at. Right now, the 46 who comes into this race weekend. So I'm looking to see Sebastian Palmer raced. He came home in the Sebastian Palmer. I'm trying to find him in points. Or did he fail to qualify for the race? Let me double check. I think Palmer failed to qualify, but I'm going to double check. Because my guess is not as good as yours. Yes, Palmer failed to qualify. So this will be the first start of the season for the 46, should they stay in the transfer spot. Esther Roberts, the Daytona winner last year, will more than likely make her first start of the year. As will Cleopatra Gamal. Nathan Orman, who's a driver from the West Series, is also looking like he could make the show, which is looking good for Ormy. Of course, Nathan Orman ran the West Series race at his hometown of Auto Club, I think earlier this week, if I'm not mistaken. And he did pretty well over there, I think. I'm going to have to look at the points. Let me double check the points. I'm pulling it up right now. Of course, you're not seeing the point standings for the West Series because you're seeing it on NR2. Actually, no, Nathan Orman finished 32nd. So Ormy would definitely get a nice redemption after making the show this week at Michigan if it stands. I'm not trying to jinx Orman as far as the D&Q is concerned, just saying that. This would be the big surprise here. The 20 car, who in real life won the championship last year in the real life ARCA Menards series, could go 0-2 in missing the show. Wouldn't that be a shocker? Maxie Chilton is right behind Annie Smith in the 82. Of course, Annie Smith is going to be in the East Series. As we had a car going slow, that was Boris Cam. He is the slowest. And right now, he's looking like going to be another driver who's going to go home. Hopefully, Skylar Taylor fixed her engine problem at after what happened at Coca-Cola. She also got involved in an accident in the West Series race at Auto Club. So not been a good couple of first races for Skylar Taylor, but as I said earlier, the season is very young. Addison Peterson entering today's race coming up. You'll see this afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Yes, you'll see the point standings over here to the right side of your screen when I'm not on NR. Of course, I'm only showing the NR deal just for go or go homers. I'm not going to do it for anything but go or go homers. As Maxie Chilton needs to pick it up. We're on him right now. He's in a pack right now, but he just needs to get behind somebody to get some speed. His best lap time is a 37.999, so he really needs to pick it up He's got to beat a 37.942 to make the show. I don't know if he's going to do it. Let's see. Nope, didn't do it. And that is session right there, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Rogers, 37.735. Looks like he's going to make the show. Trying to make sure nobody. And it looks like Nathan Orman is going to make the show. Wouldn't that be good for Nathan Orman? First attempt, made the show. Well done, Orman. And none of these, well, some of them already crossed the line to start their final lap. And doesn't look like anyone's going to improve their time. So there you go. And there's 7 drivers who will be in the show will be Josh Rogers. That's a big help for Josh Rogers. He failed to qualify at Coca-Cola. Blake Peppers, Hadley Martindale. So the 46 is 2 for 2 in making the show at made the show with Sebastian, or no, DNQ'd with Sebastian Palmer, excuse me. Esther Roberts, Cleopatra Gamal, Nathan Orman, and Kevin Lambert. Okay, here's a funny coincidence. These 7 drivers that made the field all failed to qualify with the exception of Nathan Orman. That's crazy if you ask me. So, yeah. Unfortunately, the drivers who will not make today's race at Michigan and sadly will be going home, or in some people's cases, go run the East Series race at Loudon. Those drivers DNQ are Dylan Van Dyke, Lane Briggs, Logan Burton, Maxie Chilton. They're 0 for 2. That's a surprise for the 20 team. Annie Smith, Bryn Inglewood, the 80. I need to see who your name is so I don't Brian Kaminsky. I don't know why I don't have a driver for this. So if you want to sign up for the 80, let me know in the comments. Donna Ramirez, Margaret Jacobs, Kiki Honeyman, Fabian Tester, 56. That's Brad Wallace trying to not derp. Trinity Lee, so she didn't get lucky this time around. Derek Elwood, Rickshaw Miller, Alexandria Sarnes, Tima Mauser, Maisie Creighton, Tina Jones, Alex Sanvitelli, Luca Rosso, Lauren Bridges, Josh McDowell, Josh Quake, Luna Farmer, Liliana Bates, Zach Lambert, Damian San Diego, Alyssa Albon, Curtis Glover, Jocelyn Hawkins, Bradley Ream, and Boris Camp. Those drivers will not be in the main event later this afternoon. So a shame for them that they will have to go home, or in Dylan Van Dyke and Maxie Chilton's case, they are going to head over and get a head start on the Loudon race weekend tomorrow. So that is it for qualifying here at Michigan International Speedway. If you enjoyed this qualifying session, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and become part of the PCS Race Crew today. We'll see you later at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the Henry Health System 200. Until then, I've been Didi Volo signing off as you've been watching another broadcast of PCS Ray TV as we celebrate 14 years as the best NR racing around the world since 2017.